Incessant rainfall has wreaked havoc across the country and affected the general lives as rivers swelled, inundating many structures, while 4 highways have been obstructed by rain-triggered landslides. As rain continues in many parts of the country, risk of flood and landslide continues as we urge all members of the public to maintain maximum precaution. Good evening, I'm Sapsanamma. Let's begin with the headlines of the hour. Home Minister Naren Kaji stressed to furnish answer to the Parliament with regards to the 100 kilograms gold smuggling as main opposition CPNML agrees to the resumption. General lives crippled as incessant rainfall wreaks havoc across the country, including the capital. 1 person dead in Makwanpur, 6 still missing, highways operation obstructed. India's parliament begins debate on a no-confidence motion that opposition parties have brought against Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government. Lawmakers to vote on the motion on Thursday. And Colombia set up a Women's World Cup quarter-final against England with a hard-fought victory over Jamaica. The France versus Morocco match currently underway. Deputy Prime Minister and Home Minister Naren Kaji Shrestha is to present his answers at the House of Representatives with regard to the recent 100 kilograms gold smuggling case. This comes after the main opposition CPNML agreed to let the session move ahead and allow the Home Minister to put forth his opinion at the lower house after having obstructed it for 2 weeks. The meeting held at the Prime Minister's official residence in Baluatar today that included Speaker and top brass leaders from Nepali Congress, CPNML and Maoist Centre had decided to arrange for the Home Minister to respond to the recent scandal. Currently, lawmakers from various parties are putting forth their concerns, which will be followed by the Home Minister's address. The Central Investigation Bureau CIB of Nepal Police is in a dilemma regarding the type of cases to be filed against former Prime Minister and ministers that have been alleged of involvement in the Lalita Niwas land scam. Former Prime Ministers Madhav Kumar Nepal and Baburam Bhattarai and Ministers Vijay Kumar Gachadhar, Dambar Bahadur Shrestha and Chandradev Joshi have been alleged of involvement. A case concerning the Lalita Niwas land scam was filed at the CIAE in the Nepalese year 2076. However, the corruption watchdog had decided that investigation on former Prime Ministers Nepal and Bhattarai was unnecessary. The Supreme Court's decision this week paved way to prove the connection of the alleged former ministers with the scam. Former Prime Minister Madhav Kumar Nepal had left for Europe a day after the Kathmandu District Court issued arrest warrants against him. Since the issuing of the arrest warrants, speculations are rife regarding the arrest of the leaders by CIB. However, former Prime Minister Nepal has remained in Europe while Bhattarai has been indulging in public programs. Likewise, the alleged former ministers are also in Kathmandu at the moment. The government has made a decision to begin the process of investigation of Gaur massacre that occurred 17 years ago and take actions against the perpetrators. Based on a 5-point agreement reached between the government and the Gaur Massacre Struggle Committee, the investigations will be carried out based on the cases filed by the families of those who died in the incident. The government had called the victims of Gaur massacre to reach an agreement after they relentlessly held protest programs in Rohtahat. 27 individuals had died, while 115 had been injured in a clash between former Maoist rebels and cadres of Madhesi Rights Forum on 21st of March 2007. The government has decided to declare all those who had died in the massacre as martyrs. The government will provide treatment and financial assistance to those who had been injured during the incident. Likewise, the government will build Martyrs Memorial Column in Rohtahat in memory of those who had died in the clash. The government had formed a committee led by Secretary of Ministry of Home Affairs Naren Prasad Bhattarai to reach an agreement with the victims. The Struggle Committee has withdrawn their protest programs following the agreement between the victims and the authority at the Home Ministry earlier today. The Parliamentary Hearing Committee has begun the hearing process as part of the appointment of a Chief Justice, as the Constitutional Council recommended Justice Bishwambar Prasad Shrestha for the vacant post. The meeting of the committee held today has decided to call for anyone who wants to file a complaint against the proposed candidate Shrestha within 10 days. After complaints had been filed, the committee will hold discussion with the applicants, followed by a hearing with the candidate. The meeting of the Constitutional Council held on Thursday had decided to field Shrestha for the post of Chief Justice. Should the Parliamentary Hearing Committee endorse Shrestha following his hearing, the President, as per constitutional provision, will appoint him as the next Chief Justice. Now, floods, landslides and inundation have been reported from across the country following incessant rainfall. One person has died in a landslide in Makwanpur's Sikri, with 6 still missing. The incident occurred at 4 in the morning today. Rescue and search operation has been impeded by continuous rainfall. The 6 missing have been identified as Akal Bahadur Shangtan, Shantimaya Shangtan, Sheila Shangtan, Jeewan Pahari, a 2-year-old minor Dev Pahari and 1-year-old Devyani Pahari. A few hydropower projects in Sikri Dobhan have also been buried in the landslide. Locals have been relocated to safer location. Elsewhere, the water levels have risen in Karnali River. Similar scenario has been seen in Bardia's Babai River, as the local administration issued a notice to locals to stay on high alert. Koshi River has also swollen, as the Koshi barrage has reported of water flow of 187,875 cusecs per second. 22 of the 56 doors in the barrage have been opened and a red alert warning has been issued. Hanuman Nagar, Kankalini Municipality and Tilati Koiladi Rural Municipality have been urged to stay alert for potential flooding. In Kanchanpur's northern region, 4 women who were stranded in the flood caused by swollen Siali and Odali rivers have been rescued. Landslide has obstructed movements in Bhimdatta Highway. Vehicles that were headed to and from Kathmandu and Sudur Pashchim region and Tarai have also been stranded along the highways. The Muglin Narangad road section has been only partially operating following the landslide. A part in Damoli Dumre road section along Prithvi Highway caved in, obstructing vehicular movements, as local police say it will take time for operation of the road section to resume. Likewise, the Kanti Lokpat and Madan Bhandari Highway that connect Hetauda with Kathmandu have also been obstructed. Elsewhere in Dang, Gorahi Lamahi road section has been obstructed due to landslide. 4 highways have been completely inoperational due to flood and landslides. General lives in Kathmandu have been affected due to incessant rainfall, as many places have been inundated as rivers like Bagmati, Manohara, Rudramati have swelled up. Anamnagar area has been flooded as water levels in Dhobi Khola went up dramatically today. Houses, schools and shops around Naya Bus Park area have been inundated by water from Bishnumati River. The Samakuzi area, parts in Balwatar, Kapan, Bodha, Thapathali and Bolku have also been flooded. Vehicular movements have also been obstructed and pedestrians are facing difficulty moving around within the capital as roads are flooded. Hanumante, Manohara, Godavari and Nakku rivers in Lalitpur have also swelled up. The Weather Forecasting Division has urged the general public to adopt maximum precaution, highlighting on more potential flood. At least 4 people have died in a bus accident in Rolpa, while 14 others are reported injured. The bus was headed to Ghorahi of Dang in the Lumbini province from Rolpa's Bagmara, while it met with the accident in Richi of Gairigao in Triveni Rural Municipality. Local police say the bus has plunged at least 100 meters from the road. Locals who witnessed the accident have attributed high speed as the reason behind the accident. The deceased have been identified as Gorak Dangi and Hasta Dangi of Madi Rural Municipality, Ward number 4, Prakash Bata of Madi 2 and Bhakta Bahadur Bika of Parivartan Rural Municipality. Search is on for a minor who went missing after the accident. 8 of the seriously injured are receiving treatment in Dang. Further investigation into the incident is underway. Hilly district of Ilam has begun adopting measures to control rising number of dengue infections. Cleaning and awareness campaigns have kicked off under the leadership of the District Health Administration in market areas of the district. The Health Administration has said Ilam has reported 25 dengue infections so far. The administration has speculated a stark rise in the number of cases in the days to come. The private and boarding schools organization Nepal, PAPSON, has announced protest programs expressing dissatisfaction towards the provision of the Federal Education Bill, based on which private schools must be converted into trusts. During a joint press meet held by Papson and Hisan in the capital earlier today, representatives demanded for an amendment to the bill. They have demanded the government ensure security of the investment made by private schools. They have warned of closing schools from 13th of August indefinitely until further notice if the bill is presented at the parliament without amendment. Authorities of Papson have complained that the government did not hold discussion with concerned entities while preparing the draft of the education bill, saying that the government intended to end the existence of private schools. And it's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion. The question is, why has the problem of garbage management in big cities not resolved? Your options are A, lack of coordination, B, leadership without plans, and C, lack of public awareness. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Time now for the international update. India's parliament is debating a no-confidence motion that opposition parties have brought against Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government. Congress party lawmaker Gaurav Gogoi, who had brought in the motion on 26 July, initiated the debate. Lawmakers will vote on the motion on Thursday after the debate ends. Modi's government won't lose the vote as his Bharatiya Janata Party BJP and its allies have a majority in parliament. But opposition leaders say the debate will force Modi to speak on ongoing ethnic clashes in Manipur state. The current parliament session, which began on 20th of July, has been marked by protests from opposition leaders who have demanded that Modi address the House on the violence in Manipur. More than 150 people have died and tens of thousands have been displaced in Manipur since early May, when ethnic clashes broke out between the majority Meitei group and the tribal Kuki minority. Federal Home Minister Amit Shah has said that the government was ready to discuss the issue and accused the opposition of running away. Some key bills have been passed amid the disruption and protests with little debate. Congress leader Rahul Gandhi, who was reinstated as a lawmaker on Monday, was expected to open the debate in Parliament for the opposition on Tuesday. This is the second time that Modi's government is facing a no-confidence motion since it came to power in 2014. In 2018, a lawmaker had moved a motion over the issue of granting a special category status to Andhra Pradesh state. It was defeated after a 12-hour debate. The no-confidence debate will be a chance for newly formed opposition alliance of 26 parties called India to display their unity. The alliance, which was formed in July, aims to take on Modi's BJP in the general election next year. Modi is expected to reply to the debate on Thursday. Now, Pokrov's residents cleared the rubble this morning following the night when Russian missiles struck the eastern Ukrainian city twice. Interior Minister Ihor Klimenko said 7 people, including 5 civilians, were killed. Overnight, regional officials said that 8 people had died. Witnesses said 2 missiles hit the center of Pokrovsk within 40 minutes of each other. The hotel in the center of the city suffered a direct hit with several floors missing. Residents said the Druzhba Hotel was popular with journalists, aid workers and the military. It was one of the few still operating in the eastern Donetsk region, close to the front line. Residents in Niger's capital welcomed the arrival of military delegates from Mali and Burkina Faso in the hopes that troops from the region's other junta-led states could help protect the leaders of the Niger's recent coup from a potential show of force from other West African nations. The Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, had told leaders of the July 26 coup to stand down by Sunday or face a possible military intervention, but the junta instead closed Niger's airspace and pledged to defend the country. ECOWAS defense chiefs agreed on Friday on a possible military action plan if the detained president Mohamed Bazoum was not released and reinstated, although they said operational decisions would be decided by heads of states. But the bloc's unity has been broken by a promise from the ruling juntas in Mali and Burkina Faso, both member states, to come to Niger's defense if needed. Pakistan's former Prime Minister Imran Khan's lawyer Naeem Panjota has said Khan challenged his conviction on graft charges in a high court earlier today. Speaking to media outside the Islamabad High Court, another lawyer for Khan, Sher Afzal Marwat, said they also requested that Khan should be allowed to meet his lawyers, doctors, family members and senior party leaders while in prison. Khan has been jailed for 3 years on charges of selling state gifts unlawfully during his tenure as premier from 2018 to 2022. The 70-year-old has been at the heart of political turmoil since he was ousted as Prime Minister in a vote of no confidence last year, raising concerns about stability in the nuclear-armed country as it grapples with an economic crisis. At least 9 people were killed across Vietnam after landslides and floods were triggered in the South Asian country today. Footage recorded yesterday showed various provinces in both the north and the south of the country inundated by flood water, which left several roads damaged and motorists stranded. According to local media, heavy downpours with precipitation readings of 100 to 200 millimeters have been recorded in Vietnam's northern region since 4th of August. Vietnam's Prime Minister Phan Minh Chinh also issued a notice requesting local authorities to increase their response and provide aid to affected areas. Scouts at the troubled World Scout Jamboree in South Korea vowed to stay resilient as thousands of teenage participants started evacuating to safer areas due to an expected typhoon. The evacuation is the latest blow to the 10-day jamboree after hundreds fell ill due to a heat wave and amid mounting complaints from parents over its organization. Seoul and its surrounding province of Gyeonggi will now host more than 16,000 scouts, with others fanning out to 6 other areas that are also not expected to be in the path of the typhoon. According to officials, more than 1,000 buses were being deployed to move 36,000 scouts remaining at the campsite. Interior Minister Lee Sang-min told a briefing that the convoys will be escorted by police helicopters and patrol cars. According to weather forecasters, Typhoon Kanun, which had already wreaked havoc in southern Japan, is expected to hit southern areas of South Korea on Thursday before tracking up the peninsula. The Philippines told China it will not abandon a disputed shoal in the South China Sea after it accused China's Coast Guard of using water cannons and dangerous moves to prevent Manila from sending supplies to its troops occupying the reef. The Chinese Coast Guard's use of water cannons on Saturday was not the first, as it also sprayed water at Manila's boats on mission to supply food and water for a handful of troops living aboard the Rusty warship located at the Second Thomas Shoal on November 2021. China said it had earlier told Manila not to send ships to the shoal and not to send construction materials used for large-scale repair and reinforcement to the warship after it learned of this recent supply plan. China claims sovereignty over almost the entire South China Sea, an assertion rejected internationally, while Malaysia, Vietnam, Brunei, Taiwan and the Philippines have various claims to certain areas. Hundreds of firefighters scrambled to put out a blaze raging in southern Portugal today that has scorched thousands of hectares of land and forced the precautionary evacuation of around 1,400 people. The wildfire, currently being tackled by over 800 firefighters, started on Saturday in the municipality of Odemira in the Alentejo region, but has since spread south towards the Algarve, one of Portugal's top tourist destinations. High temperatures and strong winds are complicating efforts to combat the flames, which have destroyed around 6,700 hectares of land. Shortly before sunset yesterday, the sky in Odemira turned dark as a huge smoke cloud filled the air. Southern European countries, such as Portugal, have been grappling with record-breaking temperatures during the peak summer tourist season, prompting authorities to warn of health risks. Scientists say heat waves are becoming more frequent, intense, and spread out across seasons due to climate change. Authorities have declared more than 120 municipalities across Portugal at maximum risk of wildfires. That is all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.